Big Movie Mouth Off. We're at Bruvy Cinema Pub to review more movies today. We're sponsored by PC Laptops. I'm Jeff Weiss from MSN Entertainment.
And I'm Jimmy Martin with Slug Magazine. You can find Big Movie Mouth Off on Xfinity Channel 6, and you can also find it on Xfinity On Demand, Utah On Demand, Salt Lake Alternative, with us and our buddies that are in there.
There are so many. Our next movie is Sons of Perdition, a documentary feature on the FLDS Church, people who have wandered away from the life of polygamy, in particular the Jeff's compound in Colorado City.
You know, you have the prophet, and he controls everybody.
The leader says something, you just don't say, well, I wonder if God's right or not.
They can't read magazines or newspapers or books.
No recreation of any kind.
They want to call out original thinkers or anyone who doesn't toe the line.
First off, I should make a disclaimer.
You have to make a disclaimer. I made mine for Tron.
Yes. I have actively been involved in helping distribute and publicize this film, although here's my caveat. I had seen the movie before I did.
Yeah.
And was convinced of the film's merits, and therefore was dragged along for the ride with this.
And I, on the other hand, have no stake in this game.
No, you do not have a horse
so you
in
can
this
trust
race.
me. I'm just kidding.
Co-directors Tyler Measom and Jenny Lynn Merton have found several people who have now been exiled from their existence because they wandered away from the crick.
Yeah.
And life ain't so easy.
I'm Sam Zitting. I have 10 brothers and sisters. I'm the oldest one. To tell you the truth, I would have taken a bullet for Warren Jeffs so I could go to heaven and live for eternity.
I'm Bruce Barlow. My father had 3 wives, and I'm from the first mom.
But Warren broke up my family. Family is everything.
I'm Joseph Broadbent. I'm 17. I have 2 moms. I have 21 siblings, and I ran away from Colorado City.
We're not used to any damn thing out here. Fucking have to learn from whenever he was born. Start fresh out here.
They're coming from a really closed society. I mean, it's like taking a kid from Somalia and putting him in downtown LA.
So Catholics believe in Jesus.
They don't know how to apply for jobs. They don't know how to balance a checkbook. They don't even know what a checking account is.
You know, I like this documentary. Okay, the subject itself, especially, coming from Utah.
And especially because HBO's Big Love has cast a wider net onto this.
But it's such an to know that things like this are going on in cities down in the
not that far away from us.
I know. I mean, God, it's like a 5-hour drive. I mean, but you think you're like, no, this stuff can't be happening still, and you're like, my God, it is. Yeah. And that's what's so interesting about this documentary, because they capture it so well with these teenagers.
Hey, I was just wondering if there's any way I could get into a regular high school. I mean, for the social life too. Get used to talking to girls and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
They will go to great lengths to keep the women.
Father always told me that girls are precious gems in the eyes of God.
The boys, any excuse that comes along, they're out of there.
10, 15, 20 kids in a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment.
What is it you want out of the home? What do you see?
Just family life, pretty much what I was missing.
We have to make sure it's a good fit for both of us.
Yeah, definitely.
Really just interesting, I had actually read, I forget the author's name off the top of my head. He wrote the book Under the Banner of Heaven.
John Krakauer.
Exactly.
Who's briefly interviewed.
Exactly, and when I saw him there, and I was like, I read that book, and it's just this topic that it's just so mind-blowing, And
what's nice is to actually have a face to put on it.
Exactly, and that's what I say. The book itself was great.
Yes.
But to see, like you said, put a face on it. I mean, to see these kids. I mean, there's only so much you can do without seeing a kid's actual raw emotions on camera, who has been, basically blacklisted from their family and their community,
yes.
and sent to to the streets. And that's the other thing. I didn't know that most of these people are going to St. George. That a large part of the population are outcasts. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, but the documentary itself I thought was so informative, and there's parts where they go back to the compound to rescue their other family members, and my heart was pounding. Like,
there are some genuinely exciting moments, and I don't say that easily for a documentary.
And that's why
it's weird.
We differed on this one, but I think the sensation for Sons we can agree on. But I had the same thing with Catfish.
Right.
And so, I mean, there were scenes where I was, and it sounds so stupid, I was on the edge of my seat. I was, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting there watching these kids going like, where's dad? Where's mom? Like, their car's not there, you know, like freaking out, and get your bags, let's go, like that. And I'm like, no way. Like, seriously? You're gonna go for it? I mean, to capture that kind of thing on footage and it's not, you know, a fictional narrative, and that's what's so crazy about it.
It is mostly in the kids' words.
Yes, I mean,
most of the subjects interviewed are teenagers.
And that's what I was about to say. The fact that teenagers are living this lifestyle is so freaky, and the encounters of after they've escaped, that their families come find them.
Yes.
And talk about even more creepy. I mean, just genuinely terrifying, in my opinion.
Yes, and the stories they tell are interesting because it's not just what they went through, it's now them trying to reintegrate into so-called normal society.
Yeah, I mean...
Because they have not had normal lives.
No, I mean, one kid just wants to go to school, not only to, you know, educate himself. I mean, there's times where he doesn't know who Bill Clinton versus Hitler is. I mean, it's ridiculous, but just to gain that social interaction, because like they don't know how it works, and it's so heartbreaking to see this happen to somebody. It blows me away every time I think about it. 99% of the film is fantastic. There are some problems that I did have with it. It's for me with the documentary and pretty much all films, I don't like a lot of text, and it's not because I don't like to read. To me, when you have a lot of text or...
you don't like to wear your glasses, it's a fashion statement.
It's true, I look nerdy. But when you read, when there's so much text on the screen, to me, it kind of is the same thing like we were saying earlier, that it's like voiceover.
Yes, voiceover, yeah.
Because that's the only alternative.
Right.
And that usually never plays out well.
Yes.
And for me, that just kind of, you didn't...
There's the story assembly problem.
Either
the interviews you got did not fill in all the blanks that you needed, and maybe you should have done another interview or two.
But I'd even say for this kind of film, it's almost either you didn't get enough or it's just not necessary.
Yes, it's redundant.
I think for this one, it's just not necessary because I can see the kids growing up. I can see that. I don't need to be told every 6 months that it's a 6-month interval. And that's, you know, and like it's nitpicking. It by far does not ruin the film.
No, not at all. Especially not for me.
Because, we talked about this. There was a film at Sundance called Crime After Crime, and they had much more text than Sons did.
It was very reedy.
But I still loved it, and I really, really love Sons of Perdition. I think it's this documentary that it sheds light on a subject that, you know, here in Utah we know about it. It's kind of that backdoor talking, you know, like, you know, have you heard about what's going down south?
Yeah,
you know,
we're more informed than some, and fortunately, even though this is an independent release, it's going to spread to other markets, including Arizona, and Oprah Winfrey Network picked it up for its documentary club, and the BBC, so people will get a chance to see this.
And I want them to. I you know, kind of here in Utah, it's kind of like a niche audience here because we know about it. But I want this message to spread because it's so important to know that, like, kids are still being abused down there. Like, I'm sorry, but it is absolutely horrifying what's going on down there.
Big love makes it seem a lot prettier than it really is.
You add fancy writing and, you know, not, you know, talented actors and but when you see, you know, traumatized children who are living in this world, it's really just something else. And so I hope it spreads beyond. I hope it goes from coast to coast and people are like, this has to stop. Because it does have a message. That's what's so good about it. So, you know, for everything that it's got, I give it 3.5 stars.
That's exactly where I am too. Unofficially, as someone who's now divorcing himself from his conflict of interest.
Yeah,
3.5.
No, it's a good one.
Yes, it's me putting my money where my mouth is. It's genuinely good.
There you have it.